Hi everyone, I'm going to talk to you today about how we can use connectivity and deprivation to help inform investment, and particularly investment at delivering equity. Equity refers to the fairness in which the benefit and cost impacts are distributed within society. Transport planning decisions, particularly investment in transportation systems, often have significant equity impact for society, but how can we better inform these investment decisions? Transport connectivity is vital to economic growth, job creation, social cohesion, and quality of life. Transportation is much more than simply moving people from A to B, as it provides a system through which life opportunities are accessed by people, and this access is not universal for all. Today in the UK, it is estimated that approximately 2.5 million people suffer from or are at risk of transport poverty, while over 45% of Americans have no access to public transportation at all. There's an argument that connectivity to the transport system is a prerequisite for full participation in society, with transport poverty leading to social exclusion from employment and training opportunities, healthcare, education, and leisure pursuits, just to name a few. There's a direct relationship between a person's level of connectivity and the quality of life. It's the extent of this relationship that gives rise to inequality within society. Build Back Better is a term that has been thrown around loosely recently, with both the UK and US governments initiating COVID-19 recovery plans. At the core, these plans seek to re-energise economies through job creation, investment in infrastructure, and reducing social inequalities. But how can we be sure that investment really is targeted at those who need it most? How can we help to inform decision making and deliver equity through investment in infrastructure? Competitors tend to inform decision making by simply focusing on how many jobs can be accessed within certain time bands. We look to go a step further. We want to consider the need for that connectivity. Why would communities of people with low educational attainment, for example, care about accessing jobs where you need a university degree within 30 minutes? That's why a couple of years ago, we set out to develop an insightful analytic to compare public transport connectivity and levels of deprivation to help inform investment in infrastructure and services. Thus, CDAT was developed, which provides an agile, data-driven process to appraise and direct the most beneficial investment in transport infrastructure to those who need it most. The tool uses a systematic methodology to correlate deprivation-related data against levels of connectivity to identify areas where poor connectivity may be contributing to deprivation. Identifying those areas then enables us to advise our clients on where best to invest in the transport network to obtain the greater, wider societal benefit, reducing the inequalities of opportunity, and/or to determine how a given set of proposals would impact on deprived communities relative to better off communities. To date, we have used CDAT to help inform decision makers across a variety of sectors, including employment, health, education, green space, developments, and site identification. So let me show you how the process works with a case study of the Let's Get Wellington Moving project. Although the project was not essentially about equity in the network, we thought this would be a good example as a case study to demonstrate the outputs. Through a previous presentation of CDAT, our colleagues in Wellington identified an opportunity to use CDAT, which focused on investment in transport infrastructure to support Wellington's growth while making it easier and safer to move around the network. The preferred option within this project was the consideration of investing in bus rapid transit within the central Wellington region. But would this infrastructure do anything to improve wider connectivity for residents of the Wellington area? And more specifically, would this help to open up opportunities for those who need it most? To answer these questions, we use CDAT to understand the difference an investment would make to the wider connectivity to the jobs market within Wellington. From the Wellington transport model, we extracted job locations and the number of jobs at those locations across Wellington. Next, using statistical output areas, we used the rate of unemployment and allocated each to a quintile based from 1 to 5, with 1 being low levels of unemployment, 5 being the highest, and indicated with the red dots on the map. The next step was then to connect the dots, and for this we import the GTFS network, which represents the bus, rail, ferry and cable car network within Wellington, including all timetables. Using our track analysis, we then undertake an AM peak house to employment and employment to house peak journeys to then come up with a combined peak journey using a decay parameter, which takes away the attractiveness of jobs based on the distance away from the home location. The tool then quickly runs through a correlation analysis using all information and decay parameter and assigns home origins into one of 3 tiers based on the strength of the relationship between connectivity and deprivation. The map here shows you those that are in Tier 2 and Tier 3, with Tier 3 being the worst and indicated by the red dots. The tool highlighted that 32% of the working age population within the Wellington region fell within both Tiers 2 and 3. And of Tier 3, 50% of that population were of the ethnic background of Maori and South Pacific Islander, which was a key objective to improve connectivity for. We then integrated the new BRT system into the tool, which is indicated by these routes here, and reran the scenario to estimate what the change in relative connectivity would be and the impact of delivering this infrastructure for those communities. The reassessment showed that there was only a reduction of 2% in change of the population within Tier 2 and Tier 3 locations, as the infrastructure is too city centre centric and does not deliver enough equitable improvements for the wider community. To demonstrate this point further, we then mapped the relative change in travel time, with those in the very dark blue indicating those that are seeing the largest increase in travel time, and those in the kind of lighter blue seeing a kind of 1 to 2% increase, which is representative of about 1 minute to 3 minutes improvement, and this is through interchange capabilities. Those in the red dots indicate where they're now at a disbenefit, and this is a result of one of the services that previously ran directly from this location to the jobs around the airport centre now being disconnected, as the new BRT caused that service to be cut off in the city centre. To further drive this point home, we then take that analysis and produced a scatter plot to show the rate of unemployment against the relative change in connectivity. What this shows is that those in Tier 3 and Tier 2, with the red and orange dots, are still closely correlated against the y-axis, so are seeing no real change in their connectivity levels, while those in a Tier 1, indicated by the grey dots, are seeing a much greater level of connectivity improvements through that infrastructure. So as evidence through this analysis, you've just seen, does this demonstrate an equitable investment in the transport infrastructure for the Wellington residents? So why use CDAT? Well, because CDAT fills the void or the gap in the market that provides a means for us to provide demonstrable evidence to better inform our clients to make key decisions that are well-founded and can deliver equity through the investment in the most beneficial interventions. In summary, to further highlight the value of the tool, we believe that CDAT aligns perfectly with national, regional and local policy, such as the Infrastructure Bill and Sustainable Transport Hierarchy in the UK. The tool has a focus on identifying and tackling social inequalities, aligning with renewed focus in this area in governmental policy and objectives. It provides a means to ensure investment in infrastructure is focused and targeted in the right areas to assist in tackling equity of opportunity and hence tackle deprivation. It can play a role in option development and appraisal, providing a means of assessing likely impacts and identifying those areas that have a need, providing an efficient tool to assist in the sifting and developing of those options. Can assist in evidence in transport poverty, in addition to identifying those areas that are likely to suffer from poverty premium as a result of poor levels of connectivity, and can assist in the evaluation and monitoring of options and interventions in both a pre and post implementation perspective. So the tool is inherently flexible and can be applied across a variety of contexts. Today, I have mostly talked about delivering equity through transportation connectivity lens, but connectivity is much more than this and can apply across a variety of infrastructure and sectors, which CDAT could help to inform. For example, identifying the most beneficial location for a new hospital or military installation, or investment in water infrastructure to best serve those communities who need it most.